evening, folks out there. Welcome to the MCU's Bleeding Edge, where we talk trash about all movies you can think of. Just kidding, guys. We talk about everything. We love just movies in general and TV shows and all that kind of good stuff. And so we just want to welcome you all to the show tonight. And what are we doing tonight, folks? We are actually talking about an MCU film again. Holy shit, people. We have not talked about an MCU film, I feel, in like forever. So, it's great to finally be back and talking MCU since we are the MCU's Bleeding Edge. As always, we have my wonderful co-host, Mr. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge, here tonight. How we doing, Jeff?
Fabulous.
Excellent. We also have a regular guest panelist, Mr. Andres the Pop Culture Guy. How we doing?
Very good. Very excited to talk about this movie.
Excellent. And then, of course, returning from the master of J Rent Podcast 2000, Mr. J Rent. How we doing, J Rent?
We're good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
Always a pleasure to have you, J Rent. Always enjoy your enthusiasm, sir. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about, of course, the 2024 film tonight, Deadpool Wolverine, which is the third film in the Deadpool trilogy. Directed by the awesome, amazing Mr. Sean Levy. Oh, yeah. We love Sean Levy. He's an awesome director. He directed this one and also was a producer. And if I remember correctly, he also helped write this film as well. And, of course, this stars, Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine. We have Ryan Reynolds, of course, returning as Mr. Deadpool himself. We have Emma Corrin, Maureen Baccarin, Rob Delaney, Leslie Uggams, Aaron Stanford returning from X-Men, The Last Stand, and X-Men 2 as Pyro. We have Matthew McFadden playing the kind of one of the bad guys in the film, along with Emma Corrin, who plays Xavier's twin sister. If you did not know that. Spoilers ahead, folks. So if you haven't already seen this, this came out back in July. So if you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend go check it out. This film, of course, is one of the biggest films for the MCU since the pandemic hit back in 2020. This was made for $200 million and ended up bringing in so far $1.338 billion. So this is the first billion-dollar film again in quite a while. So it's great to see the MCU kind of get that back, see that endgame levels. Of course, returning as writers, of course, were Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, of course, helped write this film, along with Zeb Wells and Ryan Reynolds contributed to the script too as well. So basically, if you're not familiar with, Deadpool himself, he is an MCU character. He's a great MCU character that is, wisecracking, kind of like Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four type of deal. And he has had two other outings prior to this, the 2016 Deadpool and 2018 Deadpool 2. So just kind of going around the panel, before you saw this film, what were you guys' thoughts going into the third Deadpool film? What were your thoughts? What were you looking for in this film? And I'll start with you, Andres.
Oh, wow. I was very excited for the film. I'm a huge X-Men fan, so I was very excited to see the MCU, somewhat giving the closure for the 20th Century Fox films proper. And I was very surprised how, character-driven the film was, and at the same time still being true as a Deadpool film. I've seen the first two Deadpool films. They're very funny, superhero films that, break the fourth wall and just criticize all the superhero tropes and General Fox as a company. I really appreciate that this film still kept the, everything we love about Deadpool, and plus giving us a good, engaging story with Deadpool, but with Wolverine as well. This is the best Wolverine performance as Hugh Jackman has given, and I was so surprised how committed he was, and I think this is the best, for me, this is definitely the best multiverse film in the multiverse saga for me. I think it really did a good job of closing, give it proper closure for the 20th century, or slash, other Mormon movies that we grew up watching in the mid 2000s.
All right, thank you. J Rent, same question, sir.
Well, like you said, it was highly anticipated when it, before it came out. People were expecting a lot, and I was one of those people that was expecting a lot too. I've always liked Wolverine, from the animated series. I've liked Deadpool for quite a while too, from comics that I've had. As you can see, I got these at the movie theaters before it came out. I went and got like the novelty stuff they had there prior to coming out, and it had so much like expectation, and I was not disappointed with it. It had a lot of anticipation coming out, and I was ready for it.
Excellent, thank you. Jeff, same question, sir.
Well, there was so much hype for the movie because only MCU entry, right, for all of 2024. So that like its placement of where they dropped it, within the bounds of the year, it was just really, really super hyped. And I think that maybe overhyped almost a little bit. But it's still a solid movie. For what it is, for a Deadpool movie. Some of the humor with the Ryan Reynolds humor doesn't do it for me at times. But it's really cool to team up seeing him with Wolverine together. And basically, I didn't really have super high expectations for the film, so the movie didn't let me down or anything like that. So I didn't really have super high expectations going into the movie.
Okay. All right. So getting right into the film, guys. So in 2018, after Wade Wilson has used Cable's time travel device to prevent the death of Vanessa, he travels from his universe, Earth 1005, to Earth 616 on the sacred timeline, hoping to join the reality's Avengers. However, he is rejected by Happy Hogan and returns to his universe. 6 years later, Wade has broken up with Vanessa, retired from being the masked mercenary Deadpool, and works as a used car salesman with his friend and former X-Force member, Peter Wisdom. During Wade's birthday party, the Time Variance Authority, TVA, capture him and takes him to Mr. Paradox, who explains that they are an organization outside of time that monitors the sacred timeline and wider multiverse, and offers Wade a future on Earth 616. Wade initially accepts, but when Paradox reveals that Wade's timeline is deteriorating as a result of the death of its stabilizing anchor being Logan, and that he plans to use a Time Ripper device to accelerate his process. Wade steals his temp pad and uses it to travel to Logan's grave, hoping to resurrect him and save the timeline. When this fails, Wade travels the multiverse searching for a replacement alternative universe variant of Logan. All right, so we'll stop there. So what are you guys' kind of thoughts on the beginning of the film, which I feel this pretty much covers it, leading up to him going to look for a replacement, as it says. What did you guys think of this intro, the whole Avengers thing, the breakup with Vanessa, this Mr. Paradox? What did you think about them keeping Logan a part of the MCU, and just your thoughts on that initial beginning to the film? And I'll start with you, Jeff.
Yeah, honestly, the introduction of the film doesn't do a lot for me. It's the whole scene where he fights all the TVA soldiers and all that, with the music and all that. It's with the music, it's like it's take it or leave it. Whether or not you like In Sync or whatever, but like I said, it's take it or leave it. The introduction to the film is okay. Some of the humor is pretty good. Some of the Marvel Disney shtick like humor that he does, that you get from Deadpool is pretty solid. I like the birthday party or whatever party that he has, where they bring in all of like the Deadpool secondary characters. That was cool. As far as the whole like deal with the TVA and Paradox and having to find a Wolverine as like an anchor being and all that was a little bit like far-fetched, I felt like a little bit. But it gets you Wolverine into the movie, right? So I guess it works at that point. But it's just a little bit far-fetched, that's all. I don't really, it doesn't really matter to me that they kill off the girlfriend character or whatever from in the movie. I don't really, it's whatever to me. I didn't feel like she was an important factor for me as a fan of the other Deadpool films, really. So I don't really care, about her as a character in the film, in this instance. That's pretty much it.
Okay, who are you talking about in the second one when somebody gets killed, or what do you
I said the presence of not having the girlfriend, whatever happens to her, that she's not there in the third film. Like in the third film, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like that she's not there. You know what I mean?
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. All right, Mr. Andres, same question, sir. Your thoughts on the intro of the film?
I think the beginning is really good. Not great, but really good. I think I kind of understand where Jeff is coming from. Like, if you're a big fan of the first two Deadpool films, you don't get much of the secondary characters that you grew and loved. Like you don't get enough of Colossus and Teenage Warhead. But we still got Pierre. I was cracking up that Pierre is like the vocal point. So that was really great. But yeah, the whole Vanessa Dean, like Vanessa, of course, the actress that plays her is really great. She's still great after 2 films, and I just wish I didn't like the creative decision of making Vanessa and Wade break up. I understand that's like a whole story point for the whole film. I felt like, if it was a true Deadpool movie, they could have gone a different way and left what we were left off from Deadpool 2, from Wade saving her, from the kill from Deadpool 2. But yeah, but at the same time, it's necessary for the story and the arc that, Wade is going through. So I had to okay, it's necessary for the story for this film. But I don't like the idea of like making Vanessa and Wade break up, because I really like them as a couple. But the beginning, when we get introduced to Wade and the whole grave Logan is so spectacular. I don't know where you're coming from, Jeff. I think the bye-bye sequence is one of the best sequence ever in any film. I mean, well, first off, if you're not a big X-Men, film fan, like this was in X2 when Wolverine, a couple of the mutants escaped from Stryker's attack on Dimension. Briefly, they had the bye-bye song in Cyclops' car, and so it's so funny that they brought back this random song that it was playing in the radio in the car in X2, and then they brought it to make it into this incredible, gruesome, violent, intro is so spectacular. I just love it. And it just became such a, as Liz say in the comments, it has become a kind again, and has become another, a pop culture essential, which is cool because of this film. And then getting into the TVA, Wade getting introduced to the TVA was really cool. I like the actor that plays Paradox. I think he did very well with the dialogue. I like the part when he was telling Wade about who was the anchor of his universe, and of course it was Logan, and they were watching the death scene of Logan in the monitors, and it was really cool. Everyone were like just all about the final scene of Hugh's death, and then of course Paradox is like mimicking the words from Logan saying that this is what it feels like, and I feel that that moment is so funny. You know, I thought that was pretty good. The humor, I kind of like the humor here. The humor is consistent. I think this movie is way funnier than Deadpool 2. Like, despite I like Deadpool 2, but I feel like the jokes here were much better. It landed more for me. And then just to wrap up, the biggest shock, because we knew about cameos for certain characters, and when we got to the Avengers, recruitment that he was trying to get into the Avengers, I was so happy and shocked to see Happy Hogan here. I like, as an Iron Man fan, I was happy to see that character, but also I love that they brought Jon Favreau here because the first Marvel thing he did, before he did Iron Man, was Daredevil, for 20th Century Fox, and so it was really cool that he was like the first one of those Fox actors that we were going to see in the film. So that was really cool. It was so funny, just seeing Wade's stick against Happy was really funny, and that part was like a big shock, and I was so giddy for that scene. But yeah, so I think the beginning was fun. It just had to get. It's very slow. It's like you're trying to get the plot moving. It's like, okay, Wade is getting introduced to the MCU, which still it was fun how he interact. I love the whole Thor thing. He's like, why Thor's crying for me? I'm like, good question, Wade. And I like throughout the film he's like constantly bringing that up. Why Thor is crying for me. But yeah, a good decent first act to get us rolling to the plot, and before we get into Wolverine.
All right, thank you. Joey, same question. Sure, your thoughts on that intro sequence?
I have some good opinions about that. I did like the song too. I was never really a fan of the song prior growing up, but like it really went well with, like, I guess the humor that they're going for. It was catchy to listen to. The humor for Deadpool, I've always kind of been 50-50 on it. Like, sometimes it's funny and sometimes the humor in it is just like kind of goofy and silly to me. And it's like, okay, it's kind of dumb. Like, it's overdone. Like, some of the things he says is just like overdid, like overkill on some of the cussing. You know what I mean? And I don't care for some of that, but the plot of it and the starting of the movie was pretty solid. Now, the guys mentioned about the what's it called, the supersonic girl and Colossus and all that. In the previous movies, they're not memorable characters. They're even in those movies, they're just not memorable. I think they did a service to them by putting them in here because they're like their cameo in this movie. That's why they didn't have any saying time, because they weren't worth being in there for saying time, other than like, oh, hey, look, Colossus is back. Oh, supersonic nuclear girl is in here again. We wanted to see better. We just wanted to see better heroes throughout the movie. That's why we went to go see it. We wanted to see Wolverine. We wanted to see who else they would bring back that was, memorable from other stuff to give us nostalgia. And ultimately, we got a lot of that, and I like the what's his name? The bad guy?
Paradox.
I love his character. They did a great casting for him. Like, his humor, so I can appreciate his acting and his demeanor, and his mannerisms throughout the whole film. Like, I when he was talking, he made me laugh just from the way he spoke, and so I enjoyed him coming into the scene majority of the times when he did, for whatever reason. And so to me, the intro, and then the car salesman thing, Like I found humor in that. I don't know why. It was just humorous to me. The story with his girlfriend doesn't bother me. I don't care if they're together or not together. They did some things with it to show that he still, cares for her and stuff like that. And I was assuming, that was going to be something later on to touch back on. And I think that was, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure what I'm missing. Oh, the timeline with Logan, him finding out about Logan being the anchor character. That's pretty cool. I like how they did that with the timelines. I thought that was kind of neat. It all made sense. It all flowed through, and I was okay with the very beginning.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. So before we move on past that, what are you guys' thoughts on all the different Wolverine variants we get at that portion before he goes back to the TVA? What did you think of all the different comic book versions of Logan, from the comic accurate one to the one fighting Hulk to all that good stuff? What did you guys think of that? And I'll go right back to you, Joey.
Thought it was really neat that we got to see these different variants. We had some. I've read some of the old X-Men comics from like the 90s and stuff, and I think that's where majority of like these pictures, that the scenes that they recreated. I thought that was funny that they brought out the what Wolverine's height technically is. He's supposed to be really short. Wolverine's character is a short character, but it's not like that in the movies, and I could see why. Nobody's like a big fan of the little dwarf guy. They want a more tall, something that's more you can have in common with. Nobody wants to be no kid wants to be the short little wolf guy. So that was funny that they did that. I like Henry Cavill's cameo as a Wolverine in there. That was pretty cool. I don't see that happening in the future though. I don't see him playing a Wolverine at all. I think this is a one and done thing. I would have liked to have seen maybe other people as Wolverine besides him. We got a lot of the what's his name playing his Wolverine as like in different outfits. I was okay with it. I wasn't bothered by that he did that. It was cool to see like those little kickbacks to the comics. I like the old school comic suit, the one where it's like orange and like burgundy. I wish they would have done more with the Hulk instead of like seeing him in the claws. Like I get it, it's probably too much CGI, probably too much money to actually put the Hulk in there. But they did it where you could see the glare of the Hulk in the claws, kind of. Well, I think they showed them he hits him, right? Real quick.
Yeah.
He did? Okay. Yeah, I forgot. But I don't know. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more interaction there. That might have been cool. But let's go. I'll take it for what it was. Very, very good little fun montage of going through the different ones.
Excellent. Thank you. Andreas, same question, sir. Your thoughts on that montage?
The montage was awesome. That's where you start to like the film more. I love how they used the song "Pirate from Love" from Huey and Lewis, from of course famously from Back to the Future soundtrack. So that was really nice. A little great song picks they have here in this movie, and I think that was really cool. They picked that for the montage for seeing the variant versions of Wolverine. I was so happy to see the Wolverine with the John Byrne costume, the as Jamie brought up, the brown and orange suit. So iconic during the late 80s X-Men run, and I was so happy they did montage I don't know what issue it was, but of course Wolverine versus Hulk, like he does that like a couple times, but that that image it's so iconic from the late 80s when they did it the second time, because Wolverine first appeared in the Incredible Hulk series in the late 70s before we meet him again in the X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men. So that was really cool. I was so giddy. Another cameo I was not expecting was Henry Cavill. So that was really cool. He looks kind of neat as Wolverine. it was so funny. He did the same thing in Mission Impossible Fallout when he did they recharge his muscles to his arms, and he did that with the claws. I was like, yes, that was so cool. What was the other cameo for Wolverine? Oh yeah, the patch, like secret agent thing. That was really neat to see that. But yeah, I thought those cameos was good. It was funny. Our first one was a small, like a small Wolverine, which was really cool. As Jeremy said before, Wolverine is a short person in the comics, so that was really cool that they referenced that. To remind us as fans, like, oh, wait, yeah, Wolverine's short. But yeah, love the montage. It's so classic, and I love it.
Excellent. Jeff, any thoughts, sir, on the montage?
They're just super cool. It's one of the highlights of the movie. The one with where it's like old man Logan, and he has the shotgun is really cool. I like that one. That's pretty much it.
All right, excellent. Just want to shout out to Wrath in the comments. Hey, what's up, Wrath? And to Liz, of course. Thank you for being in the comment section. Just wanted to give you guys a shout out. Anyways, so great job, guys. Very well done. Very well. And you're welcome, Wrath, for helping the Lions win last night. You're welcome, sir. Anywho, so moving on with the movie. So at this point, Wade returns to the TVA after that great epic battle sequence, opening sequence with the amazing credits. Love it, using the skeleton of dead Logan, which absolutely was hilarious. So Wade returns to the TVA with a Logan variant, but is told by Paradox that an anchor being cannot be replaced, and that this variant is considered the worst Wolverine in the multiverse. When Wade deduces that Paradox is acting without the knowledge of his superiors, Paradox sends Wade and Logan to the Void. Logan agrees to work with Wade when he claims that the TVA could change the timeline. Wade and Logan are captured alongside Johnny Storm and taken to Cassandra Nova, the powerful and sadistic twin sister of X-Men leader Charles Xavier. Cassandra, who made a deal with the TVA to oversee the Void, kills Johnny and leaves Wade and Logan to be consumed by Alioth, but the pair manage to escape. So we'll stop there. So what are you guys' thoughts on that portion? Chris Evans. Chris Evans popping up as Johnny Storm from his Fantastic Four films. What did you think of getting introduced back to Sabretooth, getting introduced to Aaron Stafford as Pyro again? What did you think of all those other people pretending to be other, X-Men variants for 20th Century Fox? What did you think of the background of the Void as we got into the Void? We saw the 20th Century Fox sign all crumbled up. We saw different things in the background. We saw a helicarrier. We saw many things that were from other Marvel Universe films and 20th Century Fox films. And what was your thoughts getting into the Void again, especially after the first time we saw the Void was in Loki season 1, and Alioth too as well. And what did you think about the line that Deadpool says while they're captured in the thing, saying, "You mean Alioth from Loki season 1 episode blah blah blah"? So what are you guys' overall thoughts of the introduction to the Void and to Cassandra Nova as well, Xavier's twin? Starting with you, Andreas.
Yeah, well, this is where the movie picks up. We're going to the Void. I was like, yes. We all knew this. It was leaked. So I was like, whatever. But I was so excited. I think the chemistry between Reynolds and Hugh is really great here. What I appreciate this film, it knows how to do the buddy cop formula. Like, you got the straight face and you got the comedian. And that's, the comedian is Deadpool and the straight face is Hugh Jackman, aka Wolverine. So that was really great. And just seeing them fight for the first time, it's really cool, very bloody. Seeing two, regenerated / Omega level mutants, it's like, wow, spectacular. And and Chris Evans cameo, I was like, yeah, you think it's going to be Captain America, as Ray was teasing it, And then we see him. I was like, oh my god, they got Chris Evans. I was like, wow. And then the moment when he said Flame On, I was like, oh yes, I forget. Like I was like, yes, they brought him just because of Human Torch, because his first Marvel movie, before I mean, he did other comic book movies like Scott Pilgrim and The Losers, but his major Marvel movie besides Captain America was Human Torch for the Fantastic Four movies. I love him as that role. He's definitely my favorite version of Johnny Storm, and oh my god, I was so giddy he came back for that role, and it was great to see him flame on. And then the reaction of Deadpool was like, "Oh, okay," And I like that he brought up the superhero landing. That was very cool when we see that. Yeah, the Sabretooth thing, I was kind of surprised the Sabretooth fight, was short. I mean, I like the gag when Deadpool did like the Furioso joke, which was funny. I like how he made a couple references of Mad Max. That was funny. But I was like, come on, Wolverine, like Sabretooth is powerful, just like Wolverine. And I was kind of shocked that he died like instantly, but I mean, whatever, it's the claws is adamantium. So it was really cool. And of course I was, it's very cool that, Deadpool, referenced the episode where, Elliot came in, from episode 5 of Loki. That was really cool. And yeah, a lot of cool things in this scene. I like because Loki was a TV show, it wasn't a big budget movie like this. It was very neat to like see the big expansion of other things. Like you see Easter eggs, like you see Thor's like classic 60 helmet. If you pay attention when Wolverine and Deadpool come down, you see like Captain America's like first shield that wasn't encircled yet. It was there in the ground. That was spectacular. And yeah, and then you see a little bit of like the Helicare or Asgard, in that brief second when they were traveling to Casanova's headquarters. When we meet the villain, Casanova, like at first you think it's Professor X, and then it's her. And I like Emma Corrin. She's a great actress. If you haven't seen the Crown season 4, she was spectacular as the young Diane Spencer, or Princess of Wales. So I think she was. I think her performance in this movie is really good. I just wish we spent more time with this character. She's really good, especially in the the Grant Morrison's run of X-Men during the early 2000s. So I appreciate the filmmakers taking this this villain for the main film here. It's very comic book accurate. Like her look and her boldness is like very straight out from the comic books, which is really neat. And the way she used her powers directly from that as well, like very just kudos to the team to really make this like character feel like she's from the comic books and be accurate enough, and I like how she interacts with the characters, I mean the way she kills the Human Torch is so brutal. Like I wasn't expecting that. Like she's like this thing is strip her Human Torch skin, and like his whole flesh comes down. I was like, whoa, and then after that, she taunts Deadpool, and that was like really dark and like horror like, very psychological horror. So I really dug this whole sequence, and I just wish I just wish we spent more time with the villains that we see in the Fox movies. I wish they got the actual actors. I mean, besides Sabretooth, they only wrote that. My only nitpick here is like the other villains, you recognize them, but they didn't get the other actors. But then at the same time, that's gonna be expensive, and, yada yada yada. So overall, this section is the best part of the movie. This is where everything picks up, and loving every minute of it.
Excellent, thank you, sir. Jeff, same question, sir. What did you think of that section, the introduction to the Void?
Yeah, it's cool to see the Void again. It's nice to see the consistency across the MCU with bringing it over from Loki over to the film. and actually getting to see it cinematically. It is cool how they have all the different Easter egg, type stuff in the Void. I dig that. The whole Chris Evans switcheroo, with him, showing up as Johnny Storm is well done. It definitely crosses things up for the fandom. And nice throwback to, real cool throwback to the original Fantastic Four films. I really enjoy the fight that Deadpool and Wolverine have when they first get into the Void. It's a really, really good fight. Probably maybe one of the best fight scenes in the film, probably, I think. I like seeing Deadpool use the swords against the claws. Wolverine is just really really nasty to fight. Like, if you think about it in real life, if you had to fight somebody with in real life, like Wolverine with those claws, you'd be fucked, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be fucked trying to fight somebody like that. You're going to get fucked up, So, Wolverine is pretty dangerous. And I really, dug seeing, Hugh and Ryan Reynolds going after it. Them, going to Ant-Man's corpse or whatever, in the Void and checking out Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova is a pretty solid villain. They really went into left field to pick her out of the comics and go with her as the villain. And I think it was a good direction. That actress did a really good job with the character. And it makes for a really interesting, part of the film. The Void is a really cool setting for a lot of the action in the movie, it's a great setting. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Thank you, sir. J-Rant, same question, sir. Your thoughts on that section of the film?
Absolutely. I enjoyed, just like everybody, in the Void, seeing all the little stuff that you could see from all the various films, trying to pick it out and be like, oh, I know where that's from. Oh, I know where this is from. Like little Easter eggs for you to find while you're watching the movie and get nostalgia from again. I like the fight scene that Jeff mentioned with Wolverine and Deadpool, where they went with their first go at it. That was cool. You kind of got to see them do their things. People always want to see how would this hero fight against this hero? I like to see them fight, and they gave us that. Besides it being they start off as enemies and then they become friends and then they save the day, like a classic storyline. They did this the right way because of how the story is set up. Going to find him lying to him, dude, I want nothing to do with you, and talking shit to each other and starting off into a fight. Both of these guys have this demeanor where they're tough guys. So then when you have two tough guys together, they're gonna bump heads, and you get to see two people who can't die fight it out in a really gruesome way and keep doing those things to you. You don't get to see that every day with typical superheroes, because most of them can't take fatal wounds, fatal damage like that in a fight. So this, you got to see, stabbed him in the neck, stabbed him in the side, broke his arm. You don't see that, because when you do see that, the fight's over from there. And majority of any film, almost all films probably, those type of wounds you get. So you got a fight where you get so many fatal wounds, but they keep going at it because they can't die. I like the the Captain America scene where it was not Captain America. I thought that was funny because I thought it was Captain America. I was like, oh, Captain America. And then it wasn't. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot he played, Human Torch from Fantastic Four. Totally forgot, just oblivious to it. And then when he did that, I smirked to myself because I was like, that's a good one. If you didn't know the spoilers or leaks about it, it was a good one to you. And I didn't know any spoilers or leaks about it. So it caught me off guard. I smirked. I was like, yeah, you got me there. Going further with the fights, you had Sabretooth there, one of the original Sabretooths. I thought that fight was going to go a lot longer, and it it did not. I was like, oh, cool. We're going to see Wolverine and Sabretooth fight. They're going to give us that fight. And they really didn't. It was over before it even, like, it started. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Seeing those other X-Men from the films, again, you've got memorable characters and you've got cameo characters that are just there, to like say, oh, hey, I remember that guy. Those are all those guys that were like, oh, hey, I remember those guys. Because, like, again, they don't hold any weight in the movie. They don't have any business down the line other than creating fight scenes. We're here for Wolverine and Deadpool to mow them down pretty much. And they did their part in that. So from this scenario, it carried over from the beginning, and it transitioned well into this scene. And I think for all through it transitions well.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Good job. All right. Excellent job, everyone. Great points across. I definitely absolutely love all the little cameos in the Void. I love, Juggernaut. I like Psylocke. All these different cameos. Even though they didn't get all the original people back, they all still did. I thought visually they did all a great job. And I really enjoyed all those little things, giving all the tidbits back to 20th Century Fox's X-Men line and everything. And I thought that was really a nice OD to the 20th Century Fox universe. So great job. And I just thought it was really cool. All right, so moving on. So at this point, Logan and Wade meet a Deadpool variant called Nice Pool, who directs them towards the resistant group that has been fighting Cassandra. On the way, Wade accidentally admits that he is not certain about the TVA being able to fix Logan's timeline, and the pair fight until both are left unconscious. They are found by the resistant group consisting of Laura, Elektra, Blade, and Gambit. Wade proposes an alliance to fight Cassandra. Laura convinces Logan to start over his reluctance that led to the death of his fellow X-Men to join the cause. The resistant members distract Cassandra's henchmen while Wade and Logan block her powers by placing Juggernaut's helmet on her head. Cassandra is betrayed by her follower Pyro on behalf of Paradox, and almost dies until Logan convinces Wade to remove the helmet. Cassandra heals herself and uses Sling Ring to open a portal to Earth 1005, which Logan and Wade jump through. All right, so what are your guys' thoughts on this section? What did you think about the wonderful little cameos of some past MCU characters, such as Elektra, Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade, by the way, Gambit, played by, of course, Mr. Gambit himself, that was supposed to make a Gambit film back with 20th Century Fox back in the day, Channing Tatum. And then, of course, Laura returning, Daphne Keane from Logan as Laura, a.k.a. X-23. What were you guys' thoughts on this section of the film? What did you think about Nice Pool and the frickin' dog? And just your overall thoughts kind of on that section leading up to them jumping back to Deadpool's current timeline. I'll start with you, Jeff.
I could care less for the Deadpool variants. I thought they were really stupid. Nice Pool or whatever, like, who cares? Seriously. I mean, and like the dog, I don't care. I just thought that was really dumb. And the movie picks up a lot when they do make it, their way after they have that second fight between Logan and Deadpool, which is pretty solid. It's not as good as the first one, but it's pretty solid. The scenes where they're brought to the rebel base, or if you want to say, so to speak, in the void are really good scenes. I really enjoyed Gambit in the film, and his final, him finally getting an opportunity to be in like a movie or it was really cool. I'm glad they were able to make that happen. The Rebels were a really good squad. I mean, you can't go wrong with the characters that they brought back. Obviously, cool to see Blade back again, and all that, and Elektra. Although I didn't care for the Elektra film at all when it came out, and I still wouldn't want to watch it now. The battle to take out Cassandra Nova is a really great battle. The whole squad as a team, like those scenes are really well done and they're really fun to watch. Dig CS23 out there, and the way that things work out between Deadpool and Logan and Cassandra Nova with them jumping in the sling ring, and then Elias sweeping in. It's a really cool, looks really cool visually, so I really enjoyed that part of the film.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. J Rent, your thoughts, sir?
One thing I like to say about like movies in general is like movies are like the characters can and the movies can only be liked if they are likable, and if there's something in there that you can relate to. If you can't relate to a movie or you can't relate to a character, you really don't care for them or what happens. You have to have like see them grow as a character. You have to see their emotions. You see a story. So a lot of times, like maybe in the previous movies, you don't get that from Deadpool. Like I like the Deadpool movies, but they were like all right. This movie for me did a lot better of making me care, and that's why I like the movie much more than I did than the previous ones, because I didn't care for any of the characters. There's nothing for me to care about. This movie made me more more invested emotionally, like there's something here to gain. And I wanted to say that real quick because it just in this scene here, the characters was like Juggernaut, all that. Again, that's all nostalgia. That's like, oh, that's cool, and then you forget about it 10 minutes later. The part that I'm talking about is like, you have a moment where there's no fighting. Sometimes the best moments in a movie are not the fighting parts. It's the sitting down and talking, the building of relationships of the character, getting to know them, and going into where the diner where Wolverine and Deadpool are talking, and you find out about his history, how he's let his X-Men down. How many times as people have let people down, so you start to get invested, you start to feel like them, then you get to the point where they meet Nicepool. I don't care for Ryan Reynolds really, but it was okay. I get it. You get more comedy. The dog, I could care less too. I agree 100% with Jeff. The stupid dog, who cares? When they're in the car, right, and they have that moment together because they're just frustrated, and Wolverine gets so angry and he says all of these things to Deadpool. Like, he does such a good job of just being angry. Like, you can feel the anger, but he says so many things too that are kind of like hurtful, and finally makes Deadpool shut up for a moment, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, I like that part of the movie a lot. For him to shut up and just be like, damn, he just hit me with some truth bombs, it made the movie quiet, because honestly, you probably didn't expect that in that movie. You know what I mean? That's not something you got in any of the movies of that type of seriousness. And it was serious. And because of that, it made that movie much better. Then they had the fight scene, which was justified. You had a great moment, then you give them that fight scene. That's fine. I get it now. That's part of the movie. But they made me as a watcher, a viewer, more invested in that scene because of that. And I really just enjoyed all of that from that part forward.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Mr. Andres, same question, sir. Your thoughts?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I think the nice pool gag is funny. I mean, first off, the payoff of how Deadpool gets the dog is maybe the most funniest thing I ever saw. And very Deadpool. But I kind of get it, it's it's there, seeing the handsome Ryan Reynolds in his regular face. It's like, okay, I get it. But I don't know. I think it didn't it didn't outstay its welcome. That's the thing. I think it was a good joke. We got it here, and then we're gonna get it later on, and we get a good payoff of Deadpool getting that Deadpool dog, whatever. But the Resistant, now that was my favorite moment in my theater. First off, I was in Greece. I saw this in theaters in a different country, and it was funny because we had like a weird intermission before we got to see the Resistant. It was funny, and after we got back from our break, we saw finally that scene. We see Deadpool Wolverine, like coming back from their their battle, right? By the way, their battle each other in the car is really great. First off, Hugh Jackman's monologue about how God's joke of Deadpool cannot die is one of the best single monologue from any actor. I mean, it really shows how good Hugh Jackman is as an actor. He just delivered that dramatic line so perfectly, and like the quiet. It was so weird to see Deadpool be so quiet in that moment in the Honda car, whatever. It was so like cinematic, and I just felt like Hugh Jackman just came back as Wolverine like right away in this film, and I think that's the most Hugh Jackman scene ever. And and then getting to the Resistant, we see Elektra. We knew she was coming back. I wasn't that surprised, but then when Blade came out, I was like, holy shit, Blade is back. I was like, whoa, they brought back Blade. I mean, like, oh my god, I was like just shocked and awe that they actually brought back the one and only Wesley Snipes as Blade. I mean, like, I don't care what you guys think. I love Blade. The first two Blade movies are great. I don't know, like Blade Trinity, whatever, I mean, I love Blade. He's such a great character. I love Wesley Snipes as an actor. He's great, fighter as well. Seeing Blade, that version again, it was so like I was yet again a kid again, and I just I was just so floored. One of the best, and then they did it again by giving us Gambit, but it's the Jenny Tatum version that we didn't get to see, and I was like, what? They give us Gambit again? I was like, oh my god, it's Jenny Tatum, and he looks like the comic book version with his costume. I was like, yes, I'm a huge Gambit fan. He's like one of my personal favorite, X-Men characters. Just seeing, I mean, we got one from Origins Wolverine, played by Taylor Kitsch, which I was kind of disappointed they didn't bring him back. We could have had like two Gambits in this film, but I like Taylor Kitsch as Gambit. I really like his version. He was the best part about Origins Wolverine. But at his regress, we got Janet Tim here playing Gambit, and full on comic book Gambit costume was really great. And him speaking in Cajun accent was hilarious. Just the way Deadpool was walking, like, what kind of dialect culture real riff? It was like, oh my god, I was so cried. I was like, oh my god, Gambit is in this movie, and it's Janet Tatum, and he looks like the comic book accurate character. I was like, yes, I was like in heaven. And then, of course, X-23. If you didn't see the third final trailer, they did spoil her return. And there was a reason why, because she wanted to be in the premiere. And it was kind of nice that Disney did put that trailer in to confirm that she was there, because we all were kind of curious if she was going to come back. I love X-23. She's a great character. I thought Daphne King was great in Logan, so it was really a pleasure to see her again in this film. And she still felt like the same character from that film. And I guess to wrap up, her conversation with Wolverine, another highlight of the film for me, just her conversation with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, saying that you were never, what was the phrase? She said like you were never the one, or you were never the best, but it doesn't matter because you were a great hero, in the end. And of course the dialogue with Wolverine saying that the reason that he was wearing the costume because the X-Men gave it to him, and that's the last thing he has from them, and it's such a powerful and just sad dialogue from Hugh Jackman, and you totally get that version of Wolverine, why he's so in this depressing route. So overall, this is the highlight of the film. This is the best part of the film. This is where I'm like, yes, let's fucking go.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, sir. One thing I remember during this sequence for me was when Daphne Keene pops up. Now, when she was in Logan, she was like 12, 13 years old. Now she's like 19, 20 now. I didn't think that she was going to turn out to be that attractive of a woman. And I was really shocked because when I saw her come down, I was like, holy shit, she is gorgeous. I was like, damn, I can't believe that's the same girl. I was like really surprised. But yeah, she turned out to become a really attractive woman. I was like, holy shit. But I thought that, seeing her back in this was great, showing more homage to Logan. I mean, Gambit, I agree with everyone that Gambit looked fucking amazing. He had a comic book accurate outfit. Channing Tatum looked great as Gambit, and his accent cracked me the fuck up. It was so freaking funny. I don't know what I do, but I shot out my daddy's peacock like that. It was just like so freaking funny. Oh my god, it was so damn good. And then Jennifer Gardner returning as Elektra, I was like, okay, it's okay. I think she was okay in the film. Do I think that movie's the greatest? No, by far means. Unfortunately, the PG-13 cut they put in theaters was trash. Unfortunately, it really was. But if you ever get a chance to watch the director's cut, the direct cut actually isn't that bad. It actually adds in some stuff that makes it not as horrible as that theatrical release that came out in 2005. But then Blade popping up, I was like, no way did we get Wesley Snipes to return as Blade. And then, after him popping up in this, I've seen a lot of rumors now. What am I hearing?
Sorry, that was me.
Okay. Anyways, popping up in that, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing a lot of things saying that he is returning in future projects because of how well he did in Deadpool Wolverine. The fan outreach for his character was heard down the street. I mean, he looked fantastic as the character still. So I mean, I don't see why they didn't just make a Blade movie with him to begin with instead of bringing in Mahershala Ali. Because I don't get me wrong, Mahershala Ali is a great actor, but I just don't see him as Blade. I just don't. He's not tall enough. I feel he's not like the type that I feel would be muscular enough to be him. He'd actually be more suited for a comic book accurate Wolverine, more like for me, I think. But still, I think that was a really smart choice to bring him back because people loved him as Blade. So that was really awesome. So, I mean, they did a great job with these cameos, bringing these 20th Century Fox characters back for this film. Absolutely loved it. So I agree and concur with everyone with how good those cameos were in this sequence. All right. So we got Liz here in the section talking more.
Yeah, it said he said you were he said you got the wrong guy, and then she said you were always the wrong guy until you weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the dialogue that Lauren say to Logan during the campfire. Yeah, thank you, Liz. Yes, such a great line from that. That's what I was trying to say.
I agree. It was a really good line. Another one of those like build up moments to where like you develop like a care for the character. You want redemption for them.
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
And it did well. I like this is like what like such a bizarre continuity of the X-Men films, but still he feels like the Wolverine we've been with so many films, and I just it's impressive how to do it.
Agreed. All right. Excellent, guys. Excellent. All right. So, moving on. Basically, this brings us basically kind of to the conclusion of the film. Where we get into a lot of great stuff here. So, at this point, after Logan and Wade have jumped through the back into Earth 1005, Cassandra learns about Paradox's Time Ripper from Pyro, and then kills Pyro, and follows Logan and Wade to Earth 1005. There she reveals her plan to destroy all timelines, leaving only the Void. Cassandra summons an army of Deadpool variants who kill Nicepool and battle Wade and Logan until Peter arrives and distracts them. Paradox tells Wade and Logan that while one of them could destroy the Time Ripper by disrupting the power flow, this would kill them, even with their healing powers. Wade and Logan destroy the Time Ripper together, killing Cassandra in the process, and are able to survive by sharing the burden. Paradox is arrested by the TBA's Hunter B15, who congratulates Wade and Logan and says their actions have stopped Earth's 1005 from deteriorating. Wade asks Hunter B15 to save the resistant group from the Void and change the history of Logan's world. She explains that the latter is not possible because Logan's history is what led to him being a hero now, and allows Logan to stay in Wade's world. Wade invites Logan to meet his friends, and with encouragement from Logan, reconciles with Vanessa. All right, so what is your guys' kind of on the conclusion of the film? What did you think about Cassandra coming into Earth 1005? What did you think about the return of Hunter B15? What did you think about the all-out Deadpool fight? And just kind of your overall thoughts on that. And I'll start with you, Andreas, first.
So, I mean, I like the. You can still hear me. I know I explained. Okay. It's Iceman. It's funny. Deadpool. It's a good third act. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's not the best third final act we got in for an MCU film, but I really enjoyed it. I just kind of criticize, we cannot get into it, but I feel like the way we get Crystal Nova to the final part and all that is okay, it's like we need this big spectacular, ending for a superhero film. It's okay, I'm fine with it. Nothing freshing and all that, but it's fine. It's very enjoyable. But getting back to the Nicepool, this is where I was laughing so hard. We see again, of course the portal is open. We see, Nicepool again because the dog came first, and it was very funny. Deadpool was very happy to see the dog, and then of course we get the huge, variant Deadpools, which is really great. Every comic book, version of Deadpool we see, and even the skull head, which I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. That was cool. And what I like about it, it's thank goodness Deadpool acknowledged it. It was come on, multiverse is getting tired. It's we're not doing it right. I appreciate he commented on that. We had good multiverse movies, but it's at this point, it's you're just being it to the death here. It's oh my god. So, excuse me, but I appreciate the line there. B15 coming back, I was so happy to see her again because after Loki season 2, I was hoping to maybe see some of the TVA members back in a film or something like that, or Secret Wars. So I was happy that she came back here. She looks great as always, and I was very happy they brought that character back because she was my favorite from the show. I thought her character development from the first 2 seasons were awesome. So this was really a great payoff for that series. Yeah, and then when the every variant Deadpool start to shooting at Nightpool. That's where we get the hilarious, interaction between Wolverine and Deadpool. And it's like, come on, you murder him, you dumb motherfucker. And it's like, yes, Wolverine, you're right. And he's like, and he points out the card is like, that's like medicine, and it's gonna help him. And it's like, what? And then he's just using Nightpool as a as a shield so they can get to his dog for real. And it's like, wow. Oh my god. And then we get the moment. This is where like the finale was really great. Just this small moment. We hear Madonna's song "Living in Prayer," and then you see Hugh Jackman and Reynolds walking in slow motion, very classic action thing. But then when he starts pulling the mask, I was like, yes, we're like, forever. You never expect 20 years or 23 years now we're gonna get a comic book accurate Wolverine costume, which we get in this movie. But then seeing the cowl was really great. I was like, yes, he looks so cool, and it was worth it. And then that scene like made me happy throughout the year. I thought the one take, slashing all the Deadpools was really cool and funny if you pay attention to it. And you see briefly a Stanley cameo. It's just in the bus. See like his picture there. That was really nice to see. And then also they gave a shout out with the Deadpool creator. What is it, Rob Liefeld? It was like one of those stores that they got hit through when Casanova hit them. But yeah, and they go down. Are we going through the end, Cyber? The finale, like through the end of the movie? Yep. Okay. So yeah, Casanova wants to use the time river to destroy all realities. Like, okay, that's fine. Very generic villain thing. I kind of wish we just stick with Paradox as the main villain. I feel like where we were leaving at her in the void was kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like this was so unnecessary to have Nova be like the end boss. And like, I mean, it's like, what else are you gonna do with her? Because she's so OP. Like, she's such an Omega level villain, as we see in this film. Yeah. So, and then you see Deadpool Wolverine going down, trying to stop the machine, and and I like the conversation they both have. I was very happy to see Deadpool saying that you're the best Wolverine, and then obviously he tricked Wolverine to like go first, and he does this jerk thing. It's like Star Trek, and he did this Spock salute, and Wolverine's like so mad at him. It's like he's punching the door. It was funny, and then of course Wolverine, Deadpool grabs the moniker thing, and then Wolverine gets in, and then they hold together, and then of course the living prayer comes back again, and then in such a glorious cinematic we see the shirtless Hugh again, and it's spectacular. I was like, whoa, he worked out really buff here. It's like I wow. And yeah, they saved the day. Of course, Nova died. I kind of wish they kept Nova alive. I think she could have been a great villain for the next new X-Men film if they ever got to it in the mutant saga after the multiverse saga, because she's a great villain in the comic books, and I feel like it was kind of a shame that they kill it off. Oh well, typical MCU thing. And of course get Paradox getting in trouble by B-15 and the TVA, and he thought they died, the heroes, but then they came back, and then you see the cool reaction of every TVA is looking at shirtless Hugh Wolverine, and then they grab Shoma. That was really cool callback for the Avengers. Nice. And yeah, they get back to their friends, and it was really neat to see like Lauren being with Wolverine. That was really nice that they put X-23 with Wolverine. That's really nice, because she didn't have the time to be with her Wolverine, and as a daughter and father. So I really appreciate that she came back to that last scene with the whole Deadpool crew. And that's the movie. Love this film. I think I rate this as my 8th favorite MCU film. I think this is spectacular. I think this is the second best Wolverine Deadpool. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's the second best Deadpool movie after the first film. I think nothing beats the first film. It's still a classic. It's still one of the best superhero origin / superhero films. I think this was way better than Deadpool 2 for me. Like, this was much better than Deadpool 2. This had just more jokes that landed better, more cooler moments. And as an X-Men fan, I was satisfied. Did I wish that we see more X-Men characters cameo? Yeah, but we got Secret Wars. I think they were going to save that for that, so I understand that. So yeah, I highly recommend this film, and I'm excited to see where everyone's thoughts on with this film.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Jeff, your thoughts on the conclusion of the film?
Yeah.
absolutely. Wait, who?
Jeff.
Jeff. Yeah, that's right. I thought I was Jeff. Okay. So yeah, it's all right. I mean, the whole deal with the multi-villain setup, I don't really I don't care too deeply for the TVA guy, Paradox or whatever. He's okay. What they I really don't care for the fighting against the Deadpools deal. Like that really, for me, like they could have not done that and it wouldn't have really made any difference to me. I don't know why that had to happen, like why that had to be a part of the film. But the way the movie actually finishes and how they defeat Cassandra Nova is pretty cool. It's inventive, and it makes for an appealing ending. And I really, like I said, I enjoyed Cassandra Nova in the film. She was good all the way to the end. Her connected to that machine looked really cool visually, and I thought Hugh looked great shirtless there in the end, without question. Like that was a really good way to send him off shirtless, solid film, very enjoyable, and that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, Mr. Joey, now it's your turn, sir.
Oops. Okay. So just to, try to button it up, I guess, as quick as I can. I didn't care for all the Deadpool cameos that came out. I probably would have been satisfied with like one really good one and having like a good fight between like maybe like two other Deadpools, like the Lady Deadpool and like some other variant that were hired. Like I didn't need to have 30 Deadpools and have them just, go mow down them, because then it made it look like other Deadpools weren't shit. Like they got easily chopped down. Yeah, they got the healing powers, and the one goofy guy who doesn't have the healing powers. I could have done with like a set of two set of Deadpools, one for Wolverine and one for Deadpool, or vice versa. Maybe a different variant of Wolverine and the Deadpool variant, and then have like a fight sequence there to get to where they were going. I think maybe that would have been more enjoyable than that. Whatever they did there. Nobody mentioned Madonna, her song. That was pretty cool. A song.
I did. Did
you?
Yeah,
okay.
Living on a Prayer. That's the song.
Yeah.
Madonna.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I must have been looking at my phone on the basketball game. Sorry. Anyway, that was good. I like that. Another catchy song that I never listened to since the 90s, whenever it came out. But I guarantee that song has a lot more downloads now because the movie, just like the song from the intro. I like the getting to the end, them trying to like, oh no, I'm gonna do it for you, for you, your universe. Let me have this. Let me do this, and then they play with each other's tummies before one of them gets in there. I like the whole Deadpool trying to like sacrifice himself and not being able to, and then Wolverine comes in and like grabs his hand, stretches out his other hand, and like it's not long enough, but he sticks out his claws, and when it's as soon as the claws like interacts with that other beam or rod or whatever, that's when like the whole like back and forth of that power struggle from the antimatter or non-antimatter, whatever that was, and then it goes to like the the memories, the flashbacks of like Deadpool wanting to be with his chick, wanting to have another chance to be with her. You know, then you get interested. You know, everybody wants to have that chance again. You know, you start feeling for Deadpool, and you're rooting for him. Then it goes back to Wolverine and having his redemption, and then going back to that scene that Andre was talking about that because they never completed that phrase when they were talking. All he said was, "You've got the wrong guy," and that was it at that one part. But here, you hear the rest of that conversation, which was, "You got the wrong guy," and then that's what she says, "You were always the wrong guy until you weren't." You know, and this is the part where he was the wrong guy, but he wasn't now. You know, and it does a whole like, boom, and then she dies, and they look like they're dead. And I would have been okay with them dying too. Honestly, I don't care. I like when superheroes die and they end up heroes like that. I think that's really cool. And nobody wants to do that. Everybody's scared to kill off a hero at the end of a movie. I don't know why. I think it's a great ending to a movie. But they came back. They were alive. I was okay with it still. It was still a good movie. Paradox is hilarious. I liked his character at the very end. You know, he's like, what the hell is happening here? You know, because Pete, what's his name? The Deadpool's friend? Is it Peter?
Peter, yeah.
Yep.
Peter.
When he comes in and he's talking to what's her name, and they're like having like this moment like where they're flirting, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Right? And that was hilarious to me. Yeah, and then the whole, you know, they arrest him, and she died. I was okay with the way she died. I think she was a really OP character, like an overpowered character. That could have. I always have a problem when an overpowered character gets killed by non-overpowered characters.
Yeah.
But I mean, it worked. I get it how she did it because she like connected to this machine, and so like that's how she was able to die, is because like she couldn't do anything else while she was connected to the machine, because her 1v1, her 1v1 with any one of those other characters, they can't handle her. You know what I mean? She could have easily just flicked her finger in the beginning of the movie and they would have been dust. You know what I mean? But for plot purposes, you can't do that. I like the movie. I enjoyed it because they got me invested in the characters. So for that reason, I like the movie.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Good job. Yeah, I think the ending is very solid. I mean, of course, they had to get, you know, Hugh Jackman to take off his shirt, you know, show his abs, which was funny. I love it when, you know, Deadpool goes like this and goes, which was super hilarious. You know, I mean, that whole conclusion, you know, I just think it was done really well. The destruction of, you know, Cassandra, destruction of the machine, Paradox getting, you know, arrested, which was awesome because he was just a pain in the ass. B15 being attracted to Peter was absolutely hilarious. And just like that outfit, how they had it, and he looked like he had really huge junk, was absolutely hilarious. I absolutely love the Deadpool fighting sequence. I think that's fantastic. I think it's awesome as they take it on. I mean, that jump out of the back of the fucking bus is fucking spectacular. That is a scene that people have been waiting to see for years. It was a fucking awesome, you know, steel shot that just worked really well. You know, Wolverine and his like jumping out, like what we've seen in the, you know, the animated series to in comics and stuff like that. It was live action on the big screen, which was freaking amazing. You know, Cassandra Nova was an interesting character that they could have took many places, as you know, Jay Rent mentioned. And you know, she could come back. They're able to bring everybody back. It doesn't matter if they die or not. So, you know, I have a feeling we'll see Emma Corrin again as this character because, you know, this was definitely a variant in the void. So I'm sure there's other variants of this character around. So I don't think that's the last we'll see of her. You know, I think that, you know, bringing back Pyro and then killing him off was kind of interesting because I thought Aaron Stanford did a great job. He was fun seeing him as that character again. But I mean, the fact that they come walking out after Paradox thinks they were killed from destroying the machine, and he's like, "What? How is that possible?" He's like, "You're right. Probably one of us alone wouldn't have done it, but with two people with healing abilities, we did it," and which was freaking hilarious. But all the little tidbits that Deadpool gives throughout the whole film, the little remarks, stuff like that, are absolutely freaking hilarious. And I just think this is a really fantastic film. It's my favorite of the Deadpool films, and I just think it's really fantastic. All right, so going around, give your rating, and then we'll get into plugs and get out of here. Starting with you, J-Rent, what would you give the film?
I would give it a solid 8.
All right.
For me, that's pretty high.
Excellent. Andres?
8.5 out of 10.
All right. Jeff?
I'll give it an 8.5. I'll give it an 8. 8 out of 10.
All right. And I give it a solid 10. I think it's an absolutely fantastic film. I definitely feel it was the MCU finally coming back, and I have to give it a solid 10. All right. Excellent, guys. Well, that is Deadpool and Wolverine. And just a quick little tidbit of knowledge for you guys. That brown and tan suit that Mr. Wolverine wore in that montage of finding the other Wolverines cost $200,000 to make. FYI, $200,000 to make. I think that's freaking insane. But it looked good. It looked accurate. It looked everything. So it was definitely worth that $2,000, $200,000 for the film. So I think that's crazy. I can't believe it cost that much. When I saw that, I thought that was really crazy. But at the same time, if you want authentic, you got to pay for authentic, people. All right, so that is the conclusion. I will like to thank all those in the comment section. Thank you, Liz, for being in the comment section. Tim, thank you so much for popping up. Wrath, Alan, haven't seen you, Mr. Lincoln Collective Podcast, in a long time. And thank you, everyone that was in the comments, leaving comments and stuff for us. So I will move it over to my trusty sidekick, and he will take us out.
All right. JRant 2000, tell us about Podcast Odyssey, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't been at it in a while. We're gonna get back to it next year for January. Gonna do some new layouts for streaming a video podcasts. Have some of the same guests, some new ideas, new guests, and you can always check it out on right here on Apple or on Spotify. You can even go to my Facebook and just put JRent 2000 Podcast Odyssey. Check it out. See what you think. Let me know if you want to do a show. Give me an idea or something. Hit me up.
Okay. Cyber.
Well, as always, people, if you enjoy me as the moderator on the panel, you can check out my solo content. You'll find me under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Patreon, pretty much anywhere there it is. As you see there, my most recent review is Heretic, which is Hugh Grant's newest film. It's a psychological horror film. If you have not seen it yet, definitely check out the review. Really fantastic film, really enjoyable, and I think it's just a amazing fucking film. If you haven't seen my latest trailer action, of course, for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which is coming out next year. Check that one out too as well. Really fun looking film. Lots of great underwater sequences, it looks like, and just looks like it's gonna be a really fantastic final supposed outing for Mr. Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. So definitely check that out too. My most recent short was, of course, for Wicked, which I went and saw tonight. Full review will be up eventually for that film. Check it out. Check out that little mini review. It'll tell you everything you need to know. And as always, keep on subscribing, keep on watching, keep on helping me and Andres keep on moving up, people, because we appreciate you and you're rocking it. And as always, keep on watching us here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge.
Okay. Andres.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful live review of Deadpool Wolverine. Jeremy, it was great to see you again, brother. It's great to have you here. Yep, doing very much. I'm working on content right now. I'm just doing my final touches on my top 10 favorite Flash episodes from the 2014 CW show. I just set up already the live stream reviews. This Sunday, me and the three amigos are back again, Cyber and Jeff, on excuse me, Romance Distilled for his 40th anniversary. So check that out this Sunday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. And then our secondary live stream review, they're going to talk later in 2 weeks. It's going to be Serial Mom, so it's up there already. So yeah, that's where I'm thinking what other shorts I'm going to start soon. But check on that. I'm doing shorts now, so please support me and my channel. And yeah, this help us reach our goal, and then we should be good.
Okay, well, we are out of here. Like Cyber said, thanks to everybody. We'll see everybody later. Good night. See you Monday for Doom Prophecy.